If you want to know how I created this amazing, beautiful look, don't even go anywhere. Alright, boom. So first off, I'm going to start off with MAC's Natural Radiance Primer in yellow. And when I prime, I like to massage the skin. I like to keep the skin pumping. I like the skin to be glowing. And when you do this, I'm going to tell you, there's going to be a difference in that makeup. So as you can see, I'm using the vitamin C serum and I'm massaging that in. Guys, the texture of this is so lovely. Whenever you're doing a client's makeup, always make sure you pump the skin, you get the blood to the surface of the skin, and it just makes such a big difference to the makeup. I'm also using some TIMECHECK lotion. It's quite blurring. It's not matte, well, it's kind of mattifying, and I'm placing that in the areas where she tends to get oily. Don't be afraid to use more than one primer, so one for oily skin and the rest for natural, just all over, because everyone has different areas that need different types of treatment. So now I'm just carving out her brows, and I'm doing that very lightly and very naturally. We don't want a very like harsh brow. We grown, okay? It's 2020. We have to start looking like a grown woman. And I'm brushing that out with some Got To Be gel. Guys, this is my secret to getting feathered brows that last all day, that give you that very nice fluffy texture. Just a tad bit will last so long. And remember to flick your brows upwards and then carve them into the shape that you want. So as you can see, that's how they look. Very nice, very natural, very textured. So now I'm taking some concealer and I'm carving that out, just the bottom. Remember to use like a highlighting shade, but not too light, because we don't want it to look very aggressive or for it to look like this big fat halo. No. And I'm only doing this to the bottom of the brows because I will use foundation on the top. And I am distributing the product evenly. Remember, we want a smooth base with everything we do so that each product blends in amazingly. So as you can see, this base, I found out the trick to it is to use a beauty blender and pat the product out evenly. As you can see, the beauty blender is giving me such an even distribution, which is very vital to have an amazing base. And this is my favorite bit, eyeshadow. I've taken the shade KUFURU and I am just using that as my transitional shade color. I'm patting it in. Remember, pat, don't swipe. And I'm putting that all over the lid. I'm also just taking in the shade is written down below and I'm using that to give my eyeshadow more depth. So put that in the inner crease. Today we're working with somebody that has very small lids and very hooded eyes, so I really want to make attention to her eyes and make it look bigger. And I'm using this light shade just at the top so we can have like a color story, a free color gradient. Okay, so now I'm taking this beautiful shade Dahomey from the Warrior palette and I'm placing that just on her lid. But the trick, guys, is I'm keeping it at the center, just at the center. And I'm going back in with that dark shade and I'm using that to smoke it out. Now the trick, guys, is my liquid eyeshadow and I'm placing that right in the middle of her eyes and I'm going just above the crease. Always remember to go just above the crease. As you can see, it gives the impression that the eye is bigger and draws more attention to the depths of her socket, so it really brings her eyes out. So now all I'm doing now is just lining her lids with some black track is an amazing liner. Make it really smoky. It doesn't have to be precise, and bam, we do like a smoked look. And top that off with some beautiful eyelashes. I think I'll get the link of where I bought them below. It's on eBay. Cheap, affordable, beautiful. Okay, so because we want to glow today, I'm going in with NARS Natural Radiant foundation. I love this foundation. I use it myself and it's beautiful, and I'm blending that all over her skin. It's okay to go with a fluffy brush because I'm going to use a beauty blender for the highlight, and a beauty blender really gives you that full coverage. I thought, why not just go lightly on the foundation? So I'm using that NARS Amande, very beautiful concealer. It's mattifying but it's not drying, and it will still give you that very natural smooth effect. I just love NARS. I live for NARS, and I'm using my beauty blender to blend that out. Always remember, guys, full coverage doesn't mean packing on a load of products. It's just making sure that your placement is very strategic. So I'm just placing that on. So I've gone lightly with the foundation, and so now I can pack on the concealer a bit more heavier. So I'm placing that all over my face, or her face. I've also taken the Juvia's Place concealer. That will give me a little bit of a dew, and this will just brighten up her face just a little bit more, which is what we are looking for. So as you can see, I'm just blending that out, and yeah, it just lifts up her eyes a bit more. Since she has very small lids, highlight, a nice prominent highlight is very beautiful. So I'm baking with the MINERALIZE loose powder. It's discontinued, guys. You won't find it anywhere, but I'll put down in the link some alternatives that you can use. Very natural, not too light, and it gives a very nice smooth set. And I like my powders colored because, especially for deep skin, it doesn't look too grey or ashy. So as you can see, I'm placing that every single where that I need to. So now I am contouring with the Cover FX Cream Foundation, and I'm just going around carving out that cheek. I'm just pressing round. My client has very beautiful cheeks, and we want to show that off. Okay, so now I just want to brighten up her eyes just a little bit more. The good thing is, because I don't bake, it allows me to use more than one setting powder, and I'm just taking a little bit just to brighten up under her eyes a little bit more. So the secret is not to pack on a whole lot of powder, but strategically press the powder into the skin. You get more of a flawless look. And I'm carving out her contour because she doesn't have very prominent cheeks or cheekbones. Carving out the cheek contour area makes it stand out a bit more. And as you guys like to know, I do not like harsh contour, so I'm just using the Sun Power bronzer, and I'm using that to carve out her cheek. And I'm using the fluffy brush because I don't want it to look harsh and, you know, very line. I just want it to kind of seamlessly blend, and I'm just blending that into her eyeshadow. So I'm using my favorite, that is the Taj Mahal, and this is like a orange blush, and it's a highlighter all in one. You guys already know the deal from my other videos. I love using this, especially on my deeper skin clients. So I'm using the same shadows that I used on the lid. I'm using that underneath my eyes. I'm using all three colors, starting off with the deepest, and then I'm descending down to the lightest shade. And this will obviously give our eyeshadow more smoke, more depth, more meaning, more drama. So as you can see, I'm taking that gel liner and I'm just lining the bottom of her lids just to give it more depth, and it just really ties that eye look in together. And I'm doing it precisely, but I'm slightly smudging it at the bottom to give it a smoky effect. So I'm just using the raisin blusher. I'm using that over her contour because I don't like a muddy look. I want it to have some warmth, but I want the contour to show. And I'm also using the KLB Chem Beauty highlighter in Nubian Glow, and I'm putting that on the high points of her cheeks, her eyes, her nose, everywhere, so that the light can catch it. Yes, catch it. We want that glow. You know me and highlighter. I love highlighter. I live for highlighter. I'm not scared of highlighter, guys. I'm not scared of it at all. So I'm just using that to really show off the features of her face. Look, can you see? She's already excited. Woo! Look at that brow. Woo! Oh my god. Your MUA could never. Really and truly, they could really never. But anyway, let me not get excited. You can see the results for yourself. So now I'm setting everything because we don't want it to be like a hot pile of product cakey mess, and rose water is perfect for just setting everything, giving it that really nice dewy glow. And I'm going in the middle of my eyes, of her eyes, as you can see. Sorry, I'm so used to doing my own tutorials that I'm getting confused, and I'm just giving it that really Nubian Egyptian chinky eyed goodness. Oof. So now I'm using my Secret Dazzle Dust, and I'm literally just pointing it in specific points. Can you see? Ah, girl, oh my god, no, sorry. Oh no, beautiful, beautiful. And I love this dust because it's so fine that it just melts into the skin. So to tie in the look, what I'm using is the Morph Line pencil, and I'm using that to line out her lips because sometimes chestnut can blend in for my beautiful chocolate girls with a deeper skin tone. So this really dark brown will really bring out the look. And then I'm using the Juvia's Place gloss in Royalty, and I'm using my finger to just diffuse that in. But then I realized that the color was a bit too cold, so then I added some of the Kiko's Hydro Gloss, which has a more pinky tone, to just warm it up. I think I mentioned that on my tutorial with that lipstick. And I'm using a Revolution gloss, I believe it's Glowy. I'm gonna double check and then put it in the description down below. And yeah, I'm just using my finger to blend it out. And that, my ladies and gentlemen, is the ending of this beautiful tutorial. Guys, you can see how beautiful she looks. Everything just looked amazing. It's perfect for a day out, I wouldn't say every day, but every time kind of glam. You can use it with different outfits. And make sure you comment, like, subscribe, tell me how you found this look and what other looks you'd like me to do, and I'll see y'all later.